The sun's just coming up and I feel great. No, really, I'm not tired. There's nobody around. It's so early. BikeBlogger here. Topic of the day, topic of the morning. Good morning to you. Waking up early in the morning. I have 5 tips for you. How to wake up early in the morning. Ooh, a little chilly. All right, so number 1 is get to sleep early. No matter what you do, you gotta get to sleep early. You're gonna want probably, the healthy range is supposedly 7 to 9 hours of rest. So if you can get 7 hours of sleep, for some people that's plenty. So I tend to get probably 6.5 maybe. So about the healthy range. It does depend on the person somewhat. Eating a healthy diet, you know, exercising, all these other good things will help you fall asleep. All right, let's go this way. Up the hill, up the hill. When you wake up, this is number 2. I'm waking up right now. When you're waking up, you need to have something to do. So, because otherwise you risk just falling back asleep. I think just to begin, if you're just trying to figure out like, what am I gonna do in the morning? You know, I have all this extra time. Well, that's kind of just the thing. You don't have extra time. You can't make extra time. That's, you know, you know, you just have more time in the morning. But unless you sleep less, you don't get extra time. So probably the easiest way to think about it is just shift your whole schedule forward. So like, oh, I don't know what to do when I wake up. Well, what do you do normally when you wake up? And you get ready, clean yourself off, go to work, whatever, you know. Basically, you're just shifting everything forward, your whole routine forward. All right, let's see what time it is right now. Whew-wee. It's not that cold. It's about 35 Fahrenheit. All right, it's 5:02 a.m. And 5:02 a.m. I have my list here of things. Number 1, again, sleep early. Number 2, wake up with something to do. Number 3, slow down at the end of the day. I'll get to that in a second. Number 4, shut out the light. Number 5, prepare and track. So yeah, so number 3, slow down at the end of the day. So you may find it difficult to fall asleep early. This kind of goes back to number 1, but there are things you need to not do at the end of the day to fall asleep early, which is do not eat a large meal right before you go to bed. So if you're used to having a big dinner at the end of the day, like most Americans, that's fine, but you got to do that like 3 hours before you go to bed, or however your digestion system works, or whatever it is you're eating particularly. But I've typically found if I'm gonna have a big meal of I don't know, like stir-fry noodles and a bunch of bread and a whole bunch of fruit and veggies or whatever, you know, I need to do that preferably about 3 hours before I go to bed, maybe 2 hours. It kind of brings me to another point, which is, when do you go to bed? Well, it's kind of like what I was saying before. You need at least 7 to 9 hours of rest. So if you want to wake up like me right now, get out there by 5. Well, it depends on how long it can take you to get together, you know, when you wake up. Oh, another side note, when you're waking up, once your alarm goes off, get out of bed. You only want to associate your bed with sleep, and you don't want to snooze. I find, for me at least, the easiest thing to do is just get out of bed. If you hit the snooze button, or you reset your clock or whatever, your alarm clock, it's gonna be harder to get out of bed. So once you're out of bed, there's much less likelihood you're gonna go back to bed. It's kind of like if you're having trouble getting into a routine of biking to work. It's like, get on the bike, and from there, you know, that's half the battle or whatever, or more than half the battle for some people. Whew. Actually, it doesn't feel that cold, probably because I'm properly dressed right now. But yeah, you need to slow down at the end of the day. So don't play video games, don't do any active activities, so to speak, things that get your mind racing so much. You know, do some more passive stuff, like some light reading, watching the BikeBlogger channel, you know, things that aren't going to get you, well, I don't know, my channel might get you pretty pumped up and then you want to go ride a bike. I wouldn't ride a bike right before you go to bed, or I wouldn't do any strenuous exercise right before you went to bed, at least. Of course, exercising during the day will help you fall asleep. Why would you even get up? Like why am I up now? Why would you get up this early? I don't usually get up this early. I'm kind of gotten a little obsessed about, hey, why don't I get up earlier? And it's like, wow, I have the whole world to myself, at least for a couple hours, you know? Maybe not a couple hours, I don't get that early, but, you know, for an hour, because there's nobody around. I mean, in a lot of my videos, you don't see many people around. I see one car up there, but, yeah, I mean, less traffic, you know, you get pretty much your pick of the parking space at your work. A lot of these things probably don't matter so much if you're working from home, but at least in the United States, I think about 90% of people are now going into the office, at least, you know, part of the time during the week. So most people aren't working from home anymore, because that had been going on for a while. Whew. But yeah, I mean, it's just another perk, kind of. Traffic and parking isn't really an issue as a cyclist, because well, it just isn't an issue. So that's not really a great reason. Hey, that guy's honking at me. I'm assuming that he wasn't drunk, because it's kind of late. I'm assuming he wasn't drunk, and he was cheering me on. Whew. On my way to work in the middle of the night. But yeah, it's not actually the middle of the night, it's early morning. But it's good to have good bike lights so people can see you. Woo-wee. Up the hill. Up the hill. What a great way to wake up, I should say. Lights are flashing because it's just so freaking early. So early. Oh man. Yeah, it's just quiet. There's just nobody around. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Yeah, so number 4 was shut the light out. Look around me. This is as dark as it gets around here. This is a downtown corridor sort of a situation, urban area. But artificial light is everywhere. I've read things about light therapy that can help you wake up or fall asleep. But otherwise, really, artificial light at night is a bad thing, man. is not the natural way of things. Woo-wee. It will keep you awake, and yeah, you just need to really shut it out. Now, if you're going to sleep really early, oh yeah, I was gonna talk about that right now. We're almost at work here, but I'm gonna have to extend the commute a little. If it's really early when you're going to bed and the sun is still up, because you got to keep this in mind. In the summertime, the days are longer, and by that I mean the actual daylight is longer. So instead of about 12 hours of daylight around where I live, in the winter time we get 15 hours. So like another hour and a half in the front end and back into the day. So that means the sun comes up about 5:30 a.m. It's not summer yet, so the sun still didn't come up till about, I don't know, I think 6:15 right now. But in the evening though, the sun doesn't go down until about, let's go to the right, let's go down the alleyway, until about wait a minute, where does this go? I don't think I've been down this way before. Does this even go through? I don't know. No left turn. Okay, I think we can go this. Wait, they say don't go this way. Why are you going this way? Spin it around. Just nobody around right now. I feel like I can go whatever way I want. Nobody around, everyone's sleeping. Everyone lazy. But yeah, in the summertime, 8:30 is when the sun goes down. So with twilight, blue hours, photographers call it, that still lasts another half hour. So it's not actually quote unquote pitch black, like really dark, until 9 p.m. And it's still, well, I guess it is pretty much pitch black at that point. Because you actually got 3 phases of twilight. You got civil, you got nautical, and you got astronomical twilight. They all last different lengths of time, but in any case, 9 p.m. is when the sun really actually goes down. So now you're gonna do a little math. I know it's a little early, let's do a little math here. Add 7 hours to that, so from 9 p.m. that would take you to 4 a.m. And that's 7 hours of sleep, which should be considered, again, healthy. So yeah, if you wanted to be an early bird, or a lark as some people call them, some people call themselves or whatever, if you want to wake up at 4 a.m., so like an hour before right now in this video, you kind of need to be in bed by 9. And then if you want to wake up even earlier, 3:30 a.m., of course, you got to go to bed while the sun's still up. What do? Use some blackout shades, use a white noise machine maker, whatever thingamajig, you know, run a fan or something. That's what I do. It helps me fall asleep. People with tinnitus have issues falling asleep at night when it's really quiet, unless you live in a nice loud area where there's always noise going on. But I'm just screwing around at this point. I'm just trying to extending the commute a little, because I got more to say. See how long it takes for the things to start getting busy. Typically the lights will be, you know, there's been a lot of studies done, and the lights are gonna stop flashing when they know there'll be more traffic. So how long will these lights keep flashing? I don't know. Probably another hour or so, which means it's gonna be pretty dang quiet for a while still. So anyway, number 5, prepare and track. So 2 things, right? Prepare. Get everything ready the night beforehand, because the last thing you want to do is wake up in the dark and you're tripping all over yourself and you're fumbling for clothes and stuff. I always say this anyway if you're bike commuting, because usually you're getting up earlier anyway to get ready to go. and it just helps you mentally if you just have all this stuff figured out ahead of time. There's nobody behind me. It's just so nice and quiet. It's so nice. And then track what you're doing. So, you know, keep a journal or diary, whatever you want to call it, and just see what works for you. It might take a while to get used to waking up earlier. But again, like I said, really all you're doing is you're just shifting your schedule forward, you know, 4 hours or whatever it is, whenever you usually wake up. So, yeah, keep a journal of that, specifically probably about 3 things each day when you're trying this out at different times and whatnot. Log what time you wake up, and then also log during the day how you feel. You know, you feel real tired, you feel really alert and awake and everything. And then number 3, log when you get into bed. You know, I would say log when you fall asleep, but you can't really do that. And I don't know if there is a way to do that to really figure out when you're actually falling asleep, unless you have someone else do it for you. They notice you're actually asleep or something. Because I never understood that. They say you should get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, but how do you know you're actually asleep? And you know, the quality of the sleep matters too, right? I'm still going in circles, aren't I? Let's go straight. I don't think I can go right because, actually, I guess I could have gone right. Let's spin it around. Woo! Because all the lights are flashing anyway. Yeah, we can go this way, actually. I was gonna say, well, this gets on the highway, but it's actually not a highway. It's kind of a little elevated freeway, but it's not really a freeway. Anyway, so yeah, those are the 5 things to do. Help yourself wake up. I've been kind of, like I said, getting obsessed about sleeping and waking up early and everything, because I think, like most people, I've always gotten up, you know, at one point in time I've gotten up late, you know, like let's get in the left lane here. Yeah, a squeaky bike right now. You know, you're out partying or whatever, and then say you sleep in, and I think that's just kind of typical, at least in my my culture. It's a society. Let's get over to the right. But waking up early is a thing I think is kind of rare for many people, because they don't usually do it unless they have to get to the airport or something. You know, there's like an actual reason to get up real early. Just doing a quick poll of people who use the internet a lot, which is probably people who stay up real late. But I just checked like the Reddits, which is a social media website, and there's a subreddit or a forum or whatever called Night Owls. I just was looking this up, you know, because there's always the early birds, night owls, and I think it only had like about 8,000 members. Then I look up the early bird subreddit, and there could be many reasons for this, but there was only about 1,000 members, so that's like 1 in 8. So just doing that very unscientific thing there, 8 times more people are used to being up later than waking up earlier. And I'm not sure how this works with sleeping disorders, like people who have insomnia or an irregular sleep pattern or whatever, if many people tend to just have trouble falling asleep, so they're up really late, versus people who have trouble just, I don't know, getting up early, waking up early a lot for whatever reason, be it a medical reason or something else, I don't know. Let's go left here. We'll cross all 4 lanes. All 4 lanes. We actually got to circle back here. Again, nobody around right now. It's pretty sweet. But I'll link a survey down below in the video description where I have more information on all this that I found was kind of interesting. if you're okay giving out some personal details about when you wake up and when you go to sleep. You don't have to give your name or anything like that. But I did the survey myself and I scored a 51. And what does that mean? That means intermediate in terms of the type of chronotype you are, which is kind of a loose term for are you a morning person or an evening, a nighttime sort of person when you're most awake or whatever. And when do you usually wake up? Actually, I want to go left. It's okay, there's nobody around. Woo! So I scored 51, which is exactly in the middle. And so they say like my ideal sleep time, when I have the most melatonin or whatever, is midnight, actually. So I'm probably best suited for, actually I'm probably quite lucky in that sense. I'm right in the middle, so I'm probably really lucky actually, because that would mean I'm best suited for going to sleep at midnight and then waking up at like 8 o'clock or something. Although I guess that is getting to be a little late for work, but that's what I'm best suited for. It did say though that I could go to bed as early as 10 p.m. though, when my body would first start creating melatonin. I don't know where I'm going, I'm a little confused. Did I just cut through from one little subdivision to another? Where am I? Everything looks different in the dark. I don't wake up this early usually. Let's go this way. Let's go this way. I might be just circling back to that road I was just on. I don't know. So anyway, found that interesting. So are you a morning person and a nighttime, a night owl sort of a person? You like staying up late, or you just can't, it's just your biological deal, your clock or whatever, that just, you can't go to sleep early. I mean, you're just, because that's the thing. Unfortunately, it's still a common misunderstanding, misconception or whatever, that 13 miles per hour, I'm just killing it in the morning. I'm going 13 miles per hour faster than the next guy sleeping in his bed. Productivity. Just because you wake up early and you get to work and you're doing work does not mean you're more productive. It's kind of like the belief that, oh, you're working more hours in the day. No, you're not more productive just because you work more hours. But it's kind of that FaceTime sort of whole deal about let's go right, let's go left, let's go left. It's kind of that whole deal with managers that are just way outdated and they don't understand nothing with except time management maybe, but they don't understand though that just because you're working more hours doesn't mean you're more productive. Just because you wake up earlier and you get there before everybody else doesn't mean you're more productive. I gotta be very clear about that, because people just don't seem to frickin' understand it. But you get some free points with your boss, so if you wake up early. Not gonna translate probably to any more raises or anything, but it doesn't make you look bad, that's for sure. Showing up late or later in the day, even if you're scheduled to work later, may not score you points, unless you have a sort of job where working the night shift gets you higher pay. Because I think there are some industries like that where if you work the third shift or the graveyard shift from I don't know, about 10 to midnight to 6 to 8 a.m. that you actually make more money, because nobody wants that shift. They want to be on a shift that's kind of in sync with the rest of their family. Let's make a left here. But so yeah, I throw that out there. What else do I have to say? What else do I have to say? Oh man. So yeah, if you're gonna be out early, you gotta deal with all the darkness. So nice big bright light, This is a exposure Strata MK6, I think, Mark 6. It's an old bike light. It's I've had it for a while on my channel, probably 6 years old. I don't know. They make a lot of great lights now. Just do a little browsing online, you'll find all sorts of great stuff. I think the lumen output of this light is about 1,000 lumens. The brightness of a light changes as the battery goes down, typically, unless it's got some sort of fancy circuit board inside it or whatever that regulates these things, which can be regulated just simply for safety purposes because they don't want it overheating. But I hear like well, that was a transformer. Heard a transformer on top of one of these poles. It's so quiet right now. I am hearing birds though, but I kind of hear birds all night because I live in an area where there's so much artificial light. It's like the birds never know when it's dawn or if it's the middle of the night. Whew. It is getting, from an early bird perspective, it is kind of getting a little late now though, because I think it's probably about 5:30 a.m. now, so, but still, you see, everybody's still asleep. Woo-wee. You can also check these things like, when are there less people around, in your city? If you go on, I think something like Google Maps, and you search for the nearest Walmart or whatever, you can then look at their scheduling based on when they get cell phone pings from when there's people actually there, and you can get a bar chart, and it will tell you what the busy and non-busy times are. Typically, it's kind of a bell curve in a way that it goes up as the day goes along, and it goes back down as the day comes to an end. But I've typically found early morning is usually less busy than late evening, so we're talking about 6 a.m. versus 10 p.m. Wow, we're back here again. Here we go again, BikeBlogger here, waking up early in the morning. What am I doing? I'm just crazy. Aren't I just crazy? And it's so much easier to kind of start this. If you want to try to wake up early in the morning, it's so much easier to start this in the summertime, especially if you're an outdoorsy type, because it's just not as cold in the morning. But that is probably one of the toughest things about waking up in the morning, is getting out from under the covers and meeting the day, and it's cold and it's dark. I don't mind the darkness, actually. I feel like that's kind of, seems like more of a natural way to wake up. You wake up in the dark and your eyes slowly adjust as the sun comes up, and then when the sun goes down, your eyes slowly adjust back, and once it's dark, you're supposed to go to sleep. Before there was artificial light, that was kind of just what you did. Which I would suppose that in the 1700s or whatever, or 1600s or whatever, that in the summertime maybe people worked longer just because there's more daylight. I don't know. And then in the wintertime, people didn't work as many hours, so it's kind of on more of a shortened work schedule. I have no idea. I know the old dude, Ben Franklin, supposedly he woke up at 5 every day and then went to bed at 10 every day, I think. So that would be, what, 7 hours of sleep? If you want to believe what supposedly was his sleep schedule. But yeah, like I said before, anyway, you can't just get, actually, let's go this way. Let's go straight. Go straight. You can't actually get more time waking up earlier. Some people think that, like, oh, I have an extra hour in the morning, I can do whatever I want, I can go exercise or whatever. And I would suppose early birds, people who wake up early, if they don't have to wake up real early, tend to be people who are probably pretty healthy and they want to go exercise in the morning. Because another perk in the summertime, exercising in the morning, is you don't have the sun bearing down on you. So no sunscreen, and it's cooler than late in the day or midday or whatever. So it's a twofer. But generally it's gonna be cold in the morning, so what people would typically do, I think, is just they'd work out at home or go to a gym, do some indoor exercise. That's not my style, though. I don't like working out indoors. I'm an outdoor cat. Woo-wee. Well, I think that just about does it for me. And I get to work here, begin the day. So the great thing is you can end the day early. So theoretically, you could get to work at 4:30 if you really want to be up real early, and go to bed early, of course. And then by noon, by lunchtime, that's your 8 hours if you do a 8-hour shift, and you're done for the day. Wouldn't that be awesome to be done for the day at lunchtime and still get paid a salary? Yeah, I don't know, to each his own. Let's get over. Still nobody behind me. Like I said, it's just all about pretty much shifting your schedule forward, you know, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and go from there. Because I'd say, again, one of the toughest things about waking up early in the morning is having something to keep you busy, something to do, or you don't go back and reach for that pillow and just go back to sleep. So you may want to eat something, may want to read something, may want to go for a bike ride, may want to play a video game or whatever, but you got to keep yourself up and awake and away from the bed. So anyway, thanks for coming along with me on this bike ride to work today. I've been making loops and loops and loops and loops, so I think it's about time to get to work. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Bike Blogger Show. Woo-wee. Still watching? That's a gold medal for both of us. Whew. Triple gold medal if you woke up early and you started watching this. Now get out and ride that bike.